ho, 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 Nicky Nicole. Christmas is around the corner, so let's do a Real Madrid keep or sell. Let's rebuild this team while also having a tier for loans. And I'm gonna mention 2 players at the end of the video that I also want to sign in the January transfer window. Is it gonna happen? Probably not, but I'm still gonna mention them. And please, please make sure to enjoy these holidays. And if you enjoy this video as well, like, comment, and subscribe. And we are gonna start with none other than Rodrigo himself. Of course, Rodrigo has been looking better in the past 3 weeks, where he finally found his spot in this Xabi Alonso 11. Finally, I say, because this brother couldn't get in the team for like 2 months, maybe even 3 months. Club World Cup, of course, he was okay. Then he was completely out of the lineup because Xabi Alonso just didn't prefer him. At the start of the season, we were mostly playing Franco Mastantuono there. Then we tried the Brahim Diaz project. Thank God it ended. Thank God, bro. And then, of course, Arda Güler and some people play there. But just now, from the last 3 weeks, where Rodrigo got his chance against Manchester City, he has been getting better and better. He has 3 GA in 3 games. And I think just because the sole reason that this brother just now wants to play right wing again, I'm keeping him. I'm keeping Rodrigo because I think he's a quality player, and you could see it in the last 3 games. Finally, Xabi Alonso has come down to it as well. So I hope he stays and he keeps on performing like this. Next to him, though, is a Rudiger, which his contract is running out at the end of the season. And let's be honest, guys, I did a tier list video as well, how I rated these players, how they did this season so far. And Rudiger, even though he's been injured, of course, I'm gonna take that into consideration, but he's just not that great anymore. His pace is getting down and down and down. His defensive awareness is not that great, and he is developing a bigger and bigger bozo gene. From last season in the Copa del Rey as well, his like controversial like actions that he does on the pitch and the tackles. Just look at the Manchester City game, for example. He basically cost us the two goals. The Haaland penalty and the first one, where none of the center backs basically helped Courtois, even though Courtois made a mistake, of course, there. I just think he should just be let go. Okay, we should just end his contract, let it run out, and I think we part ways at the end of the season. Good servant of the club, not gonna lie. He has been much better than I thought he would be at Real Madrid, especially in his first season at Madrid, of course. And I just think overall we need to move on to other options. Now, Endrick is gonna be the first guy to go on loan. I think this is self-explanatory. I know he's been getting a few more minutes now, but he's still not over Gonzalo Garcia. He's not even a second striker for us. So, and basically Mbappe is playing every single minute. So Gonzalo Garcia is getting no minutes. So imagine Endrick. We know what the situation is. That this guy is every game sitting on the bench, basically sad. He's crying on the bench, bro. I would be too. He's getting no minutes. I think he deserves a loan. So maybe Lyon, which was previously leaked by Fabrizio Romano and of course other news reporters. Maybe another club. We will see, but I think he is going to go on loan, maybe in January or at the end of the season. Now, Arda Güler, of course, keep. I think there's nothing to say about this. He has been in a bit of a tough period in his career right now in the last month a bit, because Xabi Alonso, of course, has been trying to portray him as an 8 position with a bit of a deep-lying playmaker to change his like playing style a bit, but that's going to take time. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he's still so young, and the start of the season when he was actually playing his position as a playmaker, you know, the last player between the striker and the midfield, I think he did great. So I'm gonna give Arda, of course, keep. Raul Asensio, the same. I think he's too young. Of course, he has some mistakes in him. Of course, the Club World Cup didn't really help him, but the last few games he has been okay. I think he's a good squad player. I think Raul Asensio is gonna become somewhat of a player like Nacho. He's gonna stay at the club. He's gonna be a good servant. I don't think his potential is that high at this moment, but of course he can prove him wrong. He can improve, but I think there is a lot of things that he can improve on. But this season, with our injury proneness, especially in defense, and the mentality that we are getting red cards, I think we had already 4 red cards this season in the defense. I think we genuinely need to keep everybody in the defense fit, and of course Raul Asensio is going to stay. Brahim Diaz, if there was sell right now, if there was a tier sell right now, he would be there. Brahim Diaz is not good enough for Real Madrid, and I am genuinely so happy that he is finally going to AFCON. He scored just for Morocco in the first game of AFCON, of course. He scored, but he's still so He's cheeks. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna be keeping him. Please let him go. Give me 20 million and I will take that, bro. Camavinga, one of my favorite players in this team. He's definitely staying over Raul Asensio, not over Arda Güler. His biggest problem in this team is not his technical ability or his position in the team. It's just that he cannot stay fit. And I would say one of the best qualities a midfielder or any player, any position to be fair, could have is availability. And that is what is pulling Camavinga back the most in his career so far, I would say, is his injuries. Of course, he can be a bit inconsistent sometimes in his game, but when he plays, come on guys, he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. He is so good at winning the ball back in this midfield, and that is sometimes what Real Madrid really misses, especially someone with grit, you know, someone that wants to win the ball, that wants to run. But he just doesn't play enough for me. He is gonna stay in keep. But if it continues until the end of the season, I would consider selling Camavinga. He's still one of my favorite players in this team. But if it continues for 3 years already now, the constant injuries and re-injuries, the same injuries, you know, hamstrings, this and that, we might have to sell him. Next up is the new guy on the block, of course, Alvaro Carreras. No point talking about it. I think he's been great. Overall, I would say he had some bad performances, especially that Atletico Madrid game and some other minor mistakes, of course. The red card doesn't help him, but the way La Liga treated him, 2 games for a red card that you give basically for speaking to him, I think it's a bit crazy, and people are like overreacting that he got 2 games. He spoke to the referee. Come on, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Once again, he's young. He just came into the club, so basically that is a no-brainer keeping him. Now, Carvajal. This is so hard for me because I think it is time for him to just slowly taper off. But I just think there is no point in selling him because he's either gonna go to Saudi or MLS, in my opinion, or maybe a Bundesliga, something like that. Go next to Vasquez, play to Bayer Leverkusen. But I just think we should keep him on the bench. I think he deserves to be at the club for at least a year or 2 more. And if we would sell him, let's be honest, what are we really getting for Carvajal these days? He's so injury prone as well. I think that ACL last season was a really huge disappointment in his career, unfortunately. But it happens, you know. It's football. So yeah, I would still keep Carvajal, even though he's a bit injury prone now. Kylian Mbappe, this is the biggest keep of them all. I think he's having a Ballon d'Or season. Once again, people try to say that he is the problem in this team and blah, 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 blah. You can say whatever you want, bro. I'm not saying that we should maybe move him to the left wing, that it's a wrong opinion. You can have your own opinion, of course, but my opinion is that without Mbappe, this team would maybe even be behind Atletico Madrid in this table. He's scoring so many goals, and he is so crucial in big games for Real Madrid this season that it's just you can maybe say, you know, Liverpool game and this and that, he will have an off game, but 99% of the time, he is available for the team. He doesn't get injuries at all. He never has a complete stinker. Even if he plays bad, at least he scores. And that's what Real Madrid needs, because nobody is as clinical as Kylian Mbappe, so I don't want to hear anything about selling Mbappe. Now, basically his arch nemesis in this team, which is Vinicius Jr., of course. Now, I want to just say, if you are watching up until this point, please like and comment and subscribe, of course. And the comment I would like you to give me is it a Vinny problem or is it a Xabi Alonso problem? I want to know, because Vinicius Jr., of course, last season wasn't that great either. But this season, I just think it's been something else. Maybe it's mentality, maybe it's the relationship with the club, maybe it's the contract situation. But for me, Vinny right now has to be sold. Of course, he's above these guys, of course. He has been a bit better in the last 2 games, but he at least has been trying. But, last game, the last 2 games, that was against City. The game against City just proves my point once again. He gives you no consistency right now. And the fact that his off-the-pitch antics just keep getting worse and worse and worse, I'm not saying that's all his fault. He's a nuisance to the club at this point. He's not that good at finishing chances, in my opinion, right now. He cannot create chances for Mbappe because he was used to crossing the ball. That was his chances creation for Karim Benzema or Joselu or Jude Bellingham when we had someone taller in the box or a box crasher in that 2023-24 season. Sorry, but right now I just don't see his value enough to keep him at the club on his wage that he is demanding from the club right now. So I would be selling Vinicius Junior. Now my opinion can change, of course. If he gets back to his form and we can figure something out with Vinicius Junior in the team, I would be happy with that. But right now I would be selling Vinicius Junior, and that goes for Dani Ceballos as well. I think it's time. How this guy has scammed a living at Real Madrid is still beyond me. How has he been here since Cristiano Ronaldo was still at the block, still at the club? How? Dani Ceballos, you gotta teach me your ways. How did you do this? Please tell me. Because you're not that good. You're an average midfielder. And if you finally have a good season, which was, I think, last year, you had a pretty good games like against Atalanta in the Champions League, and you were consistent in La Liga. You even got a standing ovation at the Santiago Bernabeu. And I'm thinking, finally, bro, I knew this guy, when he actually gets a consistent run of games, that he can help us control games better. He gets injured for 2 months last year. You can never count on Dani Ceballos, and he's just not that great overall. He must have a 10 out of 10 game for you to really see him. Even if he plays an 8 out of 10, he's still not up to a standard to the other midfielders that we can possibly buy or that we already have at the club. For example, Tchouaméni, Valverde, or Camavinga. I can mention even, of course, people like Rodrigo who can slot in as a 10. And these guys just, Franco Mastantuono. Dani Ceballos is basically a controller in this midfield, but he just doesn't offer that much quality, so I'm gonna sell him. Militao, this is the hardest one, man. If it was up to me, I would probably keep him, but the smartest decision for this club might be to sell him. I know, he's one of the best center backs when he actually plays, but how many games is he gonna actually give you? The year before last year, ACL. Last year, ACL. That's basically no games played. That's basically like two months played at the start of the season, and then he's missing from every game. Now he completely returns to finally playing for Real Madrid again, and he now is missing for another 4 months. That's half the season for him now. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I love Militao as a player. I love his qualities. I love him on the ball. I love him off the ball. I love his physical strength. You know. Physical prowess in 1v1s, but he's just not available enough at all. I would keep him as a player, but I think the situation with him, he could be sold for a good amount of money, and maybe if, you know, we can get someone on a buy that I'm gonna mention, maybe it's gonna be a center back, maybe not, we will see. I think we could get some money for Militao and maybe invest in someone that is gonna give us way more games per season, of course, and it's not gonna be injury prone. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, Militao. Fran Garcia, get the hell out of here, bro. Come on, man. Come on, what are you still doing here? You can clearly see this guy has no technical ability to be at this club. Zero technical ability. I would take Diogo Dalot at Real Madrid over Fran Garcia. He is so one-footed. His only quality is his pace and maybe his cross. And who is he crossing the ball to? Nobody, bro. That is Kylian Mbappe in the box, and then maybe Jude Bellingham when he once in 2 months gets on a cross. So he doesn't fit the system at all. He isn't really a left back or a left wing back. He's something like in between. He's maybe even like a Xabi Alonso left wing back winger, you know, that was Frimpong in his system. But Frimpong is way more better on the ball. Fran Garcia just doesn't offer that technical quality. And can he score you goals? Not really. Can he assist? No. Can he defend really well? Not really. I think his best quality is genuinely his work rate when he actually tries. But that's not enough for Real Madrid. So yeah, I would be selling Fran Garcia. Jude Bellingham, keep. There is no point talking about Jude. People want to tell me that he is tapping him, that he should be playing as a false 9, that he's not a good midfielder. I think you are very, very biased if you think Jude Bellingham is overrated. You could maybe say last year he didn't have the best season, but he was injured for most of the season. And this season, people are forgetting, he had 2 months out with an injury. He came back. I think the third game that he played, he scored against Barcelona and assisted. So I know you probably hate Jude Bellingham. I don't know why. Maybe you have an agenda. But if you're saying he's overrated, I think you are really, really overreacting. And I think he offers something that that is really special. I think he's one of one. He is a special midfielder, and when he gets actually like consistent run of games, and maybe I think he needs to score a bit more goals. That's where his confidence came from, the 2023-24 season. I think he will be once again amongst the best midfielders in the world. Trent Alexander-Arnold is of course gonna be keep. I'm not gonna be talking about him too much. He's of course exceptional player. We just bought him, and I think he's been unfortunate with injuries. So yeah, definitely a keep. David Alaba, I would genuinely sell you myself. I would sell you myself, I don't know, for 50 rupees, bro. Give me 50 rupees in a live stream, and I'm gonna sell you myself to Saudi Arabia. I think your time has been done from last year, to be honest. Your injury prone is... It's just crazy how many injuries you had, and I think this guy maybe had every single possible injury that you have on your legs. Genuinely. He had a knee injury, ankle injury, hamstring, bicep. It's everything, bro. Everything. This guy has every injury in the world. And when he finally returns back, he plays like 40 minutes and then he gets injured again. He's genuinely an Instagram model right now for Real Madrid. By the way, I'm just noticing 17 minutes into the video, and there is almost similar keep or sell players, which is crazy. If I would include Endrick as a loan, which is basically leaving the club as well, it would genuinely be almost the same, which is crazy to me. I'm gonna lower my, so you can see Trent as well there. So yeah, this is crazy, honestly. Huijsen is of course gonna be keep. Once again, same as Carreras. I think he has been struggling a bit, but he's also proved that he can play at the highest level, especially technically. His biggest weakness is, of course, his strength, and I think his defensive awareness, which was proven to be good last season at Bournemouth. I just think maybe he's not really ready for Real Madrid. Of course, it's a hard club to go to. Let's be honest, he's 18 years old, maybe 19 now. I would definitely keep him. Lunin, keep. That's a definite keep for me. Lunin deserves to be kept at this club. I'm gonna do this with my webcam, actually. He's a good servant of the club. He's never gonna start over, of course, Thibaut Courtois. But I think he deserves a spot at this club, especially for what he did in the Champions League. And when he actually comes into the team, you notice a bit of a difference, of course. But he's still a great goalkeeper. And that's the same goes for Thibaut Courtois, which I think is the second biggest keep in this team. I don't care how old he is or that he's not the greatest with his feet. He's the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Shot stopping, reflexes, sweeper keeper as well. He can push out the team, and he is just so reliable. He is just so reliable, and I'm so confident that even if a team has so many chances against us in a game, we can still win the game just because of Thibaut Courtois in a goal. He is that good. He genuinely changes games for Real Madrid. Just look at Sevilla. Sevilla game just 2 days ago. Oh my goodness. Thibaut Courtois saved us. It could have been a 3-2 victory for Sevilla. Genuinely. So yeah, Thibaut Courtois definitely a keep. And on the other hand, complete 180, Ferland Mendy has to be sold, in my opinion. He is so injury prone. Once again, I'm gonna keep repeating myself, of course, with these defenders. Injuries. I don't know if it's the medical staff or if it's some magic on our players. I just don't get it. Ferland Mendy is so injury prone, and he's good defensively, but once again, does Xabi Alonso really want a defensive left back? I don't think so. I think he wants someone that can do it all, and I think Carreras is just a better choice. And if we could get rid of Fran Garcia and Ferland Mendy, and maybe keep Valdepeña, who's just been handed out a new contract from the academy, or maybe bring in a new player. I don't know what signing we could make, but I would sell Fran Garcia and Ferland Mendy, both of them. Franco Mastantuono, this is the same as Huijsen and Carreras. Such a small period at the club. He has shown glimpses of promise, but his finishing needs to get better, and his overall game just needs a little bit of a touch-up, and just the experience is not there yet. He's so young, but of course, we are going to keep him. The same goes for Gonzalo Garcia. Great Club World Cup. Once again, he's not proving his talents so far this season in La Liga, I would say, but the chances he's getting, it's not a lot of time on the pitch, and when he actually puts him on the pitch, Xabi Alonso, he doesn't really suit the system at that point. For example, he put him on one game, and then he takes out Trent Alexander-Arnold. So who is going to give crosses to Gonzalo Garcia? I just don't really understand the chances that are given to Gonzalo Garcia, and I think we are being a bit unfair. But Once again, on the other hand, I think he needs to do a bit better at putting himself in better position in some games. That's the only thing I have for Gonzalo Garcia. Definitely a keep. Tchouaméni and Valverde, I'm gonna give them both props for Fede. Last season, of course, I will never sell Fede, of course, but this season has been a bit of a rough period for him, especially getting played right back, right wing, center defensive midfielder, like an 8. I think he needs to just look down that one position and really, really focus on being consistent. Because Fede Valverde, let's be honest, guys, he is a world-class player. Especially if he gets into a groove of scoring goals and helping the team on both offense and defense. I think he could be a game changer for Real Madrid. Once again, he's the true captain of this club. Let's not give the captaincy to Vinny once again, please. Thank you. But yeah, Fede Valverde just needs to get better and more consistent. But of course, there is a definite keep. And Tchouaméni, once again, last season, it's completely different to Fede. Last season, he was awful. But this season, he's been great. He's been sensational as a CDM. And I think he could get better in his, like, I think he could get better in bigger games, especially on the ball, under pressure. But once again, his defensive awareness is on point. His tackling is on point. And let's be honest, guys, he's one of the few guys that can actually win a header or at least try to defend a set piece. That's what I respect about Tchouaméni as well. Now, as I said before, I'd like him to be more press resistant. That's my only issue with Tchouaméni, and that's why I like Camavinga a bit more. But Tchouaméni, of course, his strength and one-wheel duels, they are there. And in the biggest games, Tchouaméni usually turns up. So this is my list of the players that I would keep, sell, and loan. Keep are these players. You can pause it, of course. If you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know down below in the comments, of course. And these are the players that I would sell and loan out. I think it's fair. Maybe some of these players I would be harsh, a bit too much on them. For example, Eder Militao or maybe Vinicius Junior. You can have your own opinion, of course. But I think it's all around. We need a rebuild at this club. That's why now I'm also going to mention the 2 players that I think Real Madrid should sign in order to really get back to the top of European football. Now, my first player is going to be Crystal Palace's Marc Guéhi, which has been linked to, of course, Real Madrid before, because he's going to be a free agent after Liverpool completely capitulated in the last day of the transfer window and didn't manage to sign him. Now, I think he would be the greatest addition to this team because of his ball-playing ability, and that he's both-footed, by the way. He is both-footed. He can progress with the ball from center-back, and he is so versatile as well. He can play on the left side, on the right side, and he is comfortable on the ball. This is what you need as a Real Madrid player. Strength, 1v1 duels, of course, the basics. The basics need to be there. But when you offer something more as a center-back, that's what you get from a Real Madrid center-back. Pepe, his aggression, his duels, you know, his headers. Now Ramos with his goals and his technical ability, of course. I would say that's what you call a Real Madrid center-back. And a center-back that has the basics down, but also offers much more as a player. And I think Guéhi would be perfect for this position. Now, of course, there was rumors about Konate, Upamecano, and many other players, Bastoni, but I just think Marc Guéhi is the one that is getting underrated the most right now. And I respect Upamecano, but every time I see him play a big game, I don't feel it with him. Maybe you could say this season he has improved a lot. When I watched him this season, I can proudly say that I have been surprised by Dayot Upamecano. But once again, I just think Marc Guéhi, from what I have seen from him, especially in the Euros, I think he's quality. I think he's so quality. And Konate, I'm not even going to compare because Konate this season has just not looking that great. Maybe it's the Liverpool season that they are having, but Konate has been basically unlinked now from Real Madrid. So, and Bastoni, I think it's out of reach completely. Marc Guéhi, of course, we like to sign these players that have just been running out of contract, and he is the perfect fit for that. And let's be honest, guys, if we are letting go of David Alaba or Antonio Rudiger, maybe even both, I think Marc Guéhi is the perfect replacement. Now we are going to move up the pitch a little bit more, and it's going to be a midfielder. And yes, this might surprise some people, but release him from the devil. Release him from Red Devils and Ruben Amorim. Kobbie Mainoo, come to Real Madrid. I know this might be a surprise, as I said before, but he is so comfortable on the ball. And that Euro campaign from Kobbie Mainoo for England, I haven't forgotten. In his debut season for Manchester United, crucial goals, by the way, in the FA Cup final, for example, against Liverpool, against Wolves, even in the last minutes, and then bossing the midfield against European teams for England, while he was basically kept out of the team in the first 3 games, where they even started Trent, Jude Bellingham, Foden, and this and that. He kept them out of the team, and he cemented himself as the best midfielder in that tournament for England. He is still that player. He is so comfortable on the ball. He's so technically gifted, and we need a midfielder like this. We need a midfielder like this, like Kobbie Mainoo. Now, I of course wanted to say Vitinha and this, but I think this is realistic. He wants to leave Manchester United. So how much would we really need to spend for Kobbie Mainoo? Let's be honest, guys. He would be cheap. He would be a cheap option. And this guy would gladly sit on the bench for Real Madrid. But if he gets into the team and start performing like the old Mainoo, I would even start to think that this guy has the potential one day to be maybe a starter for Real Madrid. He is that good. Genuinely, guys, Mainoo in that season, when he came up for Manchester United, I thought this guy was going to be one of the best midfielders in the world. He is genuinely on a generational level. He is so good for his age. People just don't realize it. And I genuinely think he's now getting underrated just because Ruben Amorim, I genuinely think he doesn't like him. It doesn't help with the antics, of course, around the clubs, but he should get more minutes. But yeah, this is going to conclude my keep or sell list, while also listing Kobbie Mainoo and Marc Guéhi as the players that I would sign. So let me know if I cooked, of course. Enjoy Christmas, happy holidays, and if you enjoyed this video as well, like, comment, subscribe. Please let me know your opinion on my keep or sell, and of course, I'm going to see you next time. Peace out.